Okay, so here I am in northern Italy, and this week I'm staying at a beautiful villa designed by Andrea Palladio. And I have to tell you, it's as amazing as this beautiful building is, it's really about the man himself, because this guy, he literally changed everything about how we build things today. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a video tour and a little bit of history of what I'm experiencing all week here. So maybe you can share the same sort of fascination and love for this as I have found for this, because it's really absolutely amazing. So Palladio lived here in the Veneto region of northern Italy, and I can't imagine it looked a whole lot different back then than it does now. Beautiful farmland, and it was here that he became a stonemason at first, but then was soon discovered by a nobleman who helped finance his studies into design and architecture, and before you knew it, he was the most influential architect of all time. But the crazy thing is that he wasn't designing palaces and castles and things. No. He was designing villas. These were places where common people would live, usually like wealthy landowners or farmers, and they lived in these villas that he would design. This is the first time that architecture was really brought into these spaces. And that's what started his road to being such an amazing influence. So Palladio's big idea was harmony. It was pure mathematical genius. Everything had ratios and it was all about proportions, and everything had to line up. I mean, buildings to Palladio were like music, and the same thing that strikes a chord on a piano is what you feel when you walk into one of his buildings. And even if you know nothing about architecture, doesn't matter. When you walk into one of his spaces, you just kind of sit there and say, yes, this all just feels right. So what's really remarkable about Palladio is just how far and wide his influence has spread. From his book that he published back in 1570, called The Four Books of Architecture, those principles are still taught and in use today. That book is considered the Bible of Western architecture, and when the way he outlines the way to use symmetry and the ratios, the 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 3-to-5 ratios, these principles are what the building blocks for what the great architects that have come after him have used. And even the great architects of today, what they do and what they put in their buildings, a lot of those things are still based on the principles that he first developed. He used perfect symmetry and geometry in a way that had never been done before. Perfect squares, perfect circles, things that had only been done in the ancient Roman buildings like the Colosseum and the Pentagon. Like, these things didn't exist before, especially not in homes. This is not the way people lived. And he blended this in together with a form of geometry and ratios and proportions that made everything work perfectly. He blended the outside space in with the inside space in a way that way before architects today that made it trendy, right? He was doing it back in the 1500s. It's just purely remarkable what he did at a time when he did it. And just as we've done all week, here's Kevin the master of this trip, with his drawing book, sketching some Palladio influences. What are we working on today, Kevin?
Entry door and loggia. Interior elevation, plan, side elevation, ceiling perspective of the frescoes.
Ooh, I love that. And that is all right up here. So this is it, the Villa Sensorino, and this is where my group is staying. We've rented the whole villa, and we're having a wonderful time getting immersed in Palladio's architecture and all that he has accomplished. And this is a perfectly fine example of his principles of symmetry and geometry and balance and harmony in building. And when you get inside and you walk through it, you realize exactly what I'm talking about. But this is it. So think about this: the White House, the Capitol building, your local post office, your local courthouse, train station, be it whatever, pretty much any old building in London or St. Petersburg, Russia, or anywhere, any city across the world, they all have these Palladio's principles of design incorporated in them, and he set the stage for that. When Thomas Jefferson was building Monticello, he literally kept a copy of Palladio's book by his bedside to make sure that those principles were set forth in all the designs and everything that he was doing. I mean, Palladio's work has defined the look of what American democracy looks like, and it all started right here in northern Italy. It's really amazing. But I think what I've come to enjoy and respect the most about what I've learned here is that Palladio built more than just buildings. He built space that was comfortable to be in. I mean, Palladio cared about not just the walls and what was around him, but the environment and the landscape and everything, and melding that together in a way that created an area and a place that was comfortable to be in and that felt welcoming. And it was him that from that time forward changed the way we looked at architecture. And were his buildings amazing and sometimes elaborate and beautiful? Yes, of course. But more than that, they were designed to be comfortable and welcoming and warm to the people that spent time in them. And that is really what changed everything. So hopefully this video has kind of helped explain why I'm geeking out over this stuff so much. And just being here, I feel like I'm standing inside of a blueprint of genius, and being in these spaces, experiencing these villas and this area here, it's almost like the walls are here breathing with me. And it's a remarkable experience that I hope you're able to be part of someday. So thanks for watching the video, and